Can we talk?
Good morning, guys. Happy Thursday. Welcome to another episode of Can We Talk. Today, I'm so excited to have my brother here, Mr. Mark W.
Yes.
Morning,
Love man.
He is the owner of Lone Market Springfield. He's a dad. He's a father. He's one of my oldest friends here. I've known Mark for 23, 24 years.
Long time.
I met him at the bottom of my life, and he's been an absolute inspiration, motivation, and got me out of a few sticky situations. We'll talk about that next time. Mark.
Yes, mate.
Bro, can you just tell us just a little bit about what you do and what got you into this wonderful industry?
Oh, well, I'm a local mortgage broker. We've been around for 22 years.
Yep.
Started down a little old Goodna. At when the average sale price was 180,000. So now we're in a flourishing Greater Springfield area.
Yes.
Love it, mate. Got a great team. We're very community focused. But love just helping locals get into the market, mate. And first home buyers is our area. It's our wheelhouse, man. We love them.
Now look, I absolutely love all the work that you do around here with Movember and the community. Arguably, he's quote unquote the mayor of Springfield.
Oh, no, don't go there. Don't go there.
Network to the hills. Now, so look, I would like to ask you, can you just talk to us a little bit about soaring cost of living, affordability, the cost of homes, and where do you see this trend going?
Yeah, man. Well, the cost of living, we know, the day-to-day living and the day-to-day cost to put food on the table, pay the bills is going through the roof. Everything's costing more, and unfortunately our salaries aren't meeting that expectations. So there's certainly some shifting that needs to happen from a salary perspective in order to meet that. But also, mate, the government needs to put more pressure on the big industry to say, hey, look, we need to start looking after the little guys, right? And bring some of those prices down. Petrol and even the excises and things that are on from a government perspective can be tailored back now.
Yes.
They seem to be getting so much more money, and from petrol, from alcohol, all those things. The excises are expensive, man. So those are the things that need to be looked at. But from an affordability, most people at the moment actually don't realise that they could actually afford a home, as opposed to paying some of the rent that's out there in the moment. We see the rent is phenomenal, and they're getting top price.
Why is that though? Why?
Well, mate, there is obviously there's not as much housing around, and that's another thing that we could talk about from a political standpoint.
Yeah.
We need more housing.
Okay.
That's first and foremost, yeah.
Jump in.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Man, if we can build more homes, mate, build more homes. And I mean, we have the wellness camp that's sitting there, that has a facility for 100 people that we could put people in there, and the government can generate income. It's sitting there with no income, nothing happening, and we have a brand new facility is underutilized. That's just one example.
Yes.
I mean, we can look at smaller homes and the tiny homes that there's now a whole industry around that, and what a great opportunity. If you have some acreage, throw a couple of little tiny homes on and rent them out to locals.
Yes.
And that's going to be a bit cheaper for them.
Yep.
Being able to manage and being able to get through, and it's a stage, right? It's not going to be their forever home, but it's going to be a stage for them to be able to get themselves back into something.
Exactly. Now, can I ask you, why has the price of homes continued to soar despite the 13, 14 interest rate rises over the past 12, 18 months?
Yeah. Again, it comes back to there's not enough homes for everybody.
Okay.
We have a huge. Our population is exploding.
Yes.
I mean, Queensland alone grew over 600,000. It's massive influx coming. Massive influx coming in 12 months.
Yeah.
They've got to house them. Unfortunately, building approvals were only at 18,000 last year. That equates to there's not enough homes.
Yes.
That's pretty simple, right? So if you look at the math from that point of view, we have to be better.
I gotta be a builder, bro.
Yeah. But we have to build more homes. We have to get the developments out there. We have to start saying that there's opportunity for people to be able to get out of the rental cycle.
Yes.
But also the other thing is, from an investment point of view, they're talking about changing negative gearing. If you take away negative gearing, then there goes the investment, and there goes the opportunity for people to be able to rent a home. Okay. So there's lots of things that the government need to align better than what they're doing. I understand there's other things that are taking precedence, but right now it's cost of living and housing are the biggest things they need to focus on. Not the Olympic Games.
Olympic Games. That's in what, like 2032? Is it 20?
Yeah, not far away, man.
Yeah,
not far away.
So what would you say to buyers specifically that feel as though that there is going to be a price correction in the markets? Should they get in now or should they wait?
We've never had a, I've been doing this 22 years, but we've never had a price correction in Queensland. So there you go, never. So because the way Queensland operates is totally different to other states.
Okay.
Other states increase very, very sharply.
Yes.
And then have to have a correction because the basically when you go up that quickly, there has to have a cliff point, right? Whereas we have more of a bell curve, so it's a slower growth.
Right.
And then what happens is when the market becomes a bit stable, we just plateau.
Yes.
And then what happens is the next growth, and we're slower. We are a slower state than other states and when it comes to growth. So it's a slower growth, but that means then there's no real correction required because we haven't grown as at such a rapid rate as other areas. So I think that we won't see it go backwards.
Yep.
I think the pendulum will switch to that the buyer might be able to negotiate a little bit more, but the prices will still remain the same.
Right. So what sort of advice can you give to buyers right now that have been caught in the rental trap, that are keen to enter but are finding it just a bit hard?
Yeah, man, great question, because we live in a society that things are unfortunately easy and at our fingertips, like phones and everything else. But stop the Uber Eats, stop the menu log, stop the easy pay, the afterpays. You know, like when you go into a shop and you go, hey, I could buy that shirt. Well, you don't really need it, right? Like, it's something that you want.
Yes.
But they've made it so easy that you could just put that on the higher purchase from Easy Pay or Afterpay, and then you have to worry about it later.
Yes.
Well, you still have to pay it eventually, right?
Yes.
So if you don't have the money now, then don't get it. Really simple. So it's not like, or a lay-by. There's still lay-bys around.
Shirt, man, so
You stole, that's a whole nother podcast. Let's go. No, that's not good here. But from that point of view, if you are looking to save for a home or get into your first home, then cut down the incidentals that aren't your electricity or your food or things like things that you don't really need. Like if you're gambling and things like that, I understand it's a bit of fun, but in the same token, stuff that you should minimize while you're looking to say, where's your priority?
Yes.
And where does that pendulum sit when it comes to your priority? Do you really want the house, or are you just messing around and it'll come to me? Well, that's not going to do it unless you put the effort in, right? So yeah. Absolutely.
Well, guys, wants versus needs, and prioritizing what you need to do to be able to get where you want to go.
Yeah, very much so.
So in your industry right now, how is this trend and question of should we go cashless or cash, how does that impact?
It doesn't really affect us in our industry, but I mean, highlight perfect example, right?
Yes.
We had McDonald's 2 weeks ago, crashed around the country, not just around the country, but around the world, and for a whole day. And unfortunately, the young kids working at the shop couldn't even take an order because they firstly didn't have a calculator, couldn't work it out, and they didn't. Am I being topical? Sorry. But then they can't take the cash because they couldn't take the transaction. And you're like, well, we still need cash. You still need cash to be able to go down to your local fish and chip shop, get your fish and chip, get your loaf of bread, those type of things. You should be able to walk into a McDonald's or anywhere for that matter, and cash is still legal tender. Right. They should be able to take it. To go the other way, if we're exposing ourselves to crashes like that happened with McDonald's. McDonald's lost $20 million in a day. Wow. Because they couldn't take over the counter. But there's still cash, right? So then we need it. And I'm a big believer of cash all the way. If we can keep it, maintain it, let's go.
Excellent. So now let's sort of deep dive. Why do you do mortgage this? I feel like, why? Like, you could do anything, man.
Yeah.
Why this?
I think I fell into it. I was a salesperson
like
first,
marriage,
right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't tell Tash. I'll get in trouble. So I was in sales and loved it. It was in retail. Loved the connection that you made with people. Had some really good mentors that it wasn't about order taking, it was about relationship building. And so the relationship building came across, and then a job opportunity came at a bank. I cut my teeth at the bank and went, you know what? I actually looked after brokers, and I saw the brokers were doing a half job, getting paid really well. I'm like, man, I can be better than that, and if I do a full job, I'm going to get paid really well.
Yes.
And that was 22 years ago, and now I have my own business, local business.
That's
been
awesome.
around a long time, and yeah, man, you know, it's been a blessing for us to be able to do what we do. And again, I use now the platform to be able to do the Movember and give back to our community, and be someone upstanding in the community that actually gives back, so cares about the people in our community, because that's a big thing that we pride ourselves on.
Now, I've seen that platform grow astronomically. Can you just tell us more about Movember? I'm kind of light on at the moment, but yeah, just dive into that one.
Yeah, we've been doing Movember for 12 years. We're a local charity.
Time flies, bro.
Yeah,
Woo!
we're Springfield Momen, the boys.
Yes,
So
yeah.
myself and Paul, my mate Paul, started it up 12 years ago.
Paul, you're next.
Oh, look out. So, and it started because a local guy drove his car into the lake. You know, probably would have heard it years ago.
I remember that.
And they just said it was an accident. And
Right,
we all
Springfield
knew,
Lakes, wasn't it?
we all knew what happened. And we just said we needed a platform to be better for men.
Yes.
And now we do 3 times a week. We have a man walk, which happens down at the lagoon. We have once a month we have steak and mates. Once a quarter we have men at the movies, and then we have our big gala things, and we have like the car show. We have a big car show at Orion on Father's Day.
I missed the invite.
Yeah. You know it's a free event, and you can come down anytime you want, right? Anyway, but last year we had 18,500 people show up.
Yep.
And for me, it wasn't.
Wow.
The cars are great, and it's a great event. But what I loved was we had dads walking around with their sons and their kids, empowering the next generation and showing them some good-looking cars. So there was a $1.2 million McLaren, but we had an old school Mustang, and being able to show the differences of the eras that came along.
Yes.
And then to see them and show the kids going, hey man, look at this, and be passionate about the car, and see the next generation be empowered with that, and passing on that legacy.
Yes.
Man, I don't care how much money we raise, that's the big thing that I'll take. So yeah.
Beautiful. Mark, just like to say that we like to not only thank you, but we appreciate everything that you've done in this beautiful community, and we look forward to part 2.
Oh yeah.
People just found out.
Oh.
Thanks, bro.
What's up, man?
Thanks, man. Thank you so much.
All right.
All good.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Oh, love this guy.